So going into the second big lesson, taken from Surah Yunus that I from reflecting on the tafsir and the ayat and Surah Yunus and this whole idea around this ayat and this one ayat in the Quran that I mentioned before. If you haven't seen it, please look at the previous videos. But this one ayat that's centered where it mentioned Prophet Yunus alayhi wasalam and his people, and that lesson to take from it, how special they were. Think about this. The general assumption for most Muslims, they think, that shirk is the worst sin that you can commit, right? And there's some truth to it, because we know shirk is a major sin, and it's always been since the beginning of mankind. That's one of the worst things you can do. But is it the absolute worst thing to do? Is the thing I started to think about and question and reflect on, right? Is it the absolute worst thing to do? And here's some more reason, some more food for thought in that. So if it's the absolute worst thing to do, why is it that the people of Prophet Yunus alayhi wasalam, their major sin, what they were doing was shirk, just like all the nations that was destroyed before them for committing shirk, a major sin, worshiping idols, right? So if it's the absolute worst sin that's possible, why is it that Prophet Yunus's people is considered amongst the best of people of all existence of humanity? If that's the worst sin, how could it be possible but that these people that committed shirk, are amongst the best of all the ummas that ever existed? SubhanAllah. And the answer to that is clear. It's because it's not about what they did. It's not just about what they did in the past. It's about how they responded to being warned about it, right? And yeah, for a period of time, the people of Yunus were arrogant